What do Genghis Khan, Thomas Jefferson, and Vladimir Lenin all have in common? All three men belong to the same minority group that consists of not even 2% of the world population. Most people don't even know that a single one of these men belong to this minority group. In the United States, when we think of minority groups, we think of those with African, Hispanic, or Asian heritage. But this minority group that these men belong to is often overlooked. I'm, of course, talking about the redheaded community. Redheads have had a major impact on not only the United States, but the entire world, with little to no recognition. While the nation marvels over the election of the first African-American president, few could care that 7 redheads have held office, even though we only consist of about 5% of the country. We blues, as we're known in Australia, have achieved a lot for being such a small minority. And we have received some reverence for it. The Polynesians see red-haired people as descendants of rulers, while artists such as Titian have painted many of their subjects, including the famous Venus, with red hair. But it does not seem like we get... We even have a country named after us. Many will argue that the word Russia comes from the old Slavic word Rusi, meaning red-haired, after the many gingered Swedes who inhabited eastern Russia and Ukraine around the 8th and 9th centuries. But it does not seem like we get the praise that we used to, though. The only people who seem to admire my auburn locks are old ladies and the stylists at Supercuts. Last year, I was forced by my teammates to call myself the Geography Ginger. I have been accused of being a soulless devil thanks to TV shows like South Park. There is no justification there. Redheads are also stereotyped pale and freckly. Well, okay, you got me there. But tomato heads are not restricted by European ancestry. They can be Asian, like Genghis Khan, Arabian, like the Prophet Muhammad. Even Malcolm X had a red tinge to his hair. In Britain and Canada, hate crimes directed at us have been investigated, and in Britain have landed some offenders in prison. But this prejudice goes back even further. Medieval Europeans believed that those of us with green eyes were witches, and the ancient Greeks thought that we became vampires after we died. Redheads get made fun of a lot, but we can handle it, because we know all that teasing stems from jealousy, and hey, there's a lot to envy. We have led major religions, discovered new continents, and carried 2 nations to victory in World War II. Hey, maybe we do have superpowers. It's time that this minority of less than 2% gains some recognition in the world. And although it is not true that we won't be around, in 50 years, we may not be around forever. So maybe it's time to focus less on the panda and more on the real copper-colored treasure humanity may lose. Imagine the United States without us. There would have been no Christopher Columbus to kick off colonization in the Americas, no Elizabeth I to set up the first English colonies, and no George Washington to lead them in their independence. Redheads are a major part of world heritage and should be treated as so. Our numbers are declining, so instead of making fun of our brightly colored hair, the world should focus more on our preservation.